these are the results of my weekend. So 2 days and around 90 miles, 91 to be exact, of riding around. And when I mean riding, I actually do mean biking, because I guess unlike a lot of other people who go out, I don't drive, so I bike. And I had to actually go back I went to a town actually like 10 miles over on the outskirts of that town, and had to go back there twice, just because somebody said that they would have the stuff I wanted later, and then they'd give me a call, which is surprising that they would actually give me a call, because normally in that situation you don't get a call back. You leave them a number, and it's just rare. So anyways, this video might actually go over 10 minutes because of all the stuff I got. It's pretty big, but yeah, right now I can't actually have it have a video longer than 10 minutes because my card on my camera fills up. That's gonna be fixed. In a couple days I'll get a new card, but yeah, it just might be split into multiple videos. So anyways, first video, or the first sale started at like 8 in the morning, and it was cold. So even if it's cold, even if you live in like Wisconsin, get there early in the cold morning. So they had a bunch of like N64. They actually had some original Xbox, GameCube. I was hoping to find some Genesis or Super Nintendo, but no luck. I guess the kid, I think he probably just went off to college just because of all the kind of age of the stuff he had. Like, it was from N64 on, so I figured he probably was like, 4 or 5 in the late 2000s. You can kind of estimate the age of the kid if he's not there, if he's in college or something. Based on the stuff he has, the generations of the consoles. So anyways, I'll get this started. Got a lot of N64 games, so Donkey Kong 64, Pokemon Stadium. Has anybody ever noticed this label here that says this game pack belongs to blah, write your name in? Yeah, I've seen ones that say not for resale. I've never seen a label that for Pokemon Stadium, the first game, that just is like, blank. You can actually see the picture underneath. I don't know, I was just curious. Snowboard Kids, rented this game back in the day. Really, really good game. Really good racing game. Probably one of the only, probably one of the better racing games that are like not a kart racer on the N64, but still aimed at the same crowd. Speaking of Mario Kart 64, this game is consistently like, if I ever get a double of a system or something because I have to buy all the games in the system, this will sell your system on eBay. And by the way, if you see games at a yard sale and you want to fund your game purchases, you should just pick up games like this, because otherwise, your bank's just gonna drain. So Smash Brothers, another solid title. Sells well. I'm actually not a fan of the N64 one. I was more a fan of the GameCube one, and I didn't really play much of the Wii one, so yeah, this one's also another good seller. And actually I picked up another Mario Kart. They, for some reason, had two. They actually had two Super Mario 64s. I think I got one, but I kind of just felt like leaving one there. Because it's a good game, and maybe there's a kid who comes later and he doesn't have an N64 and he knows Mario is a good game, so there was an N64 there. I didn't feel like grabbing it. It didn't have the explanation pack. So yeah, left it there. Pokemon Snap. I know it's a pretty bad game in terms of, it's, well, maybe I shouldn't say it's a pretty bad game, but I haven't really played much of it. I played it back in the day at like a Blockbuster. I didn't get much into it in the 5 or 10 minutes that I played, but I watched a review of it recently, and somebody talked about it like it was some sort of rail shooter, and that made it more interesting to me. So I'll give this one another try. But the main reason I bought it was because it had a really clean back, and snowboard kids, unfortunately, had a wrecked back, and then somebody just like peeled off stickers. They didn't even care about tearing it, but whatever. Yeah, that's torn. So anyways, that's gonna replace it. And last one I got was Mario 64. I saw they had Battlefront 2. Surprisingly, they had the case, no cover art for Battlefront 2, but then they had the manual for Battlefront 1. I grabbed it and stuck it in the case, but, maybe it was a mishap when someone traded in a game. They traded in, Battlefront 2 with the Battlefront 1 manual. I don't even know if this is for PS1, or for PS2 or Xbox, because on the back it advertises both Xbox and PlayStation 2. Let me see. Default controls. It's for the PC. It's talking about like up arrow and WASD. So this is the manual for Battlefront on the PC, in the same box as Battlefront 2 for the Xbox. Whatever. They had some Game Boy games there, not many. Pokemon, another game you should always pick up. Obviously if you like it, but it'll always sell. Like, it has a constant price of like $20-25, and I'll tell you what, I didn't pay more than $25 for everything here. So this will pay for that. All these games. And Link's Awakening, the DX version, basically for the Game Boy Color. And my brother had the original one, the black and white, for the regular Game Boy, and I played the crap out of that one. So I know the color one has some differences, like an extra dungeon, stuff like that. It'd be interesting to see what the differences are. So I think this is going to annoy me more than it annoys you people. And now I have a timer here. It's going to go for 10 minutes, then it'll cut again. So maybe I can get through all this, but I doubt it. I don't know. So let's see. Had some Dreamcast games. Nothing that I really liked, or that I hadn't played before or already have. So, but found the greatest hits of Sonic Adventure, and it's pretty much complete. Even had like this registration card, or actually it's like a preview card to show you off all the games, which is pretty cool. Sonic Adventure 2 as disc only. Couldn't find the case, unfortunately. And the lady there, she was like, I was going through all the games, and if I didn't find the disc, I threw away the box or the case, and I was like, oh my goodness. She couldn't find the discs for like Sonic Adventure 2, so she threw out the case probably. Checked inside the GameCube that they had there, and they had Wind Waker in like solid condition. So I actually picked up an empty case at the Goodwill about 2 weeks ago, and I asked if I could just have it because there was no game, and they said sure. So yeah, Billy Hatcher, Smash Brothers Melee, another system seller, good game. And F-Zero GX. I don't think this one has the manual, which sucks. No, it does. Or no, it doesn't. It's just a little thing that advertises Nintendo Power. Crap. Yeah, I'm not a fan of F-Zero actually. Or at least the SNES one. SNES, Super Nintendo. or the N64 one. So maybe this one will be different, but who made this one? It wasn't Nintendo, right? It was like Capcom, or can't remember. Somebody else made it. Yeah, I remember it looking really nice, but I just never really played it. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Oh yeah, wait. I got one more thing. I got a red N64 controller with the Rumble Pack. And yeah, so that's one. It was about like 15 or 16 games I think I got. No, that's more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 N64. 1, 2, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 games, right? N64 controller, Rumble Pack. And so, like, I was asking him how much he wanted for all that. He was like, and I just shot him an offer. I was like, how about $15? And he was like, and so I was like, what about 20? And he's like, okay. And basically, in the situation where, like, somebody is unsure what they want to, take for the games, shoot them a very low, reasonable offer, maybe $1 a game or less. It depends. I mean, they don't really know the value, especially of like a game that's like 15 years old. But yeah, shoot them a value, and if they're still umming about it, give them like $5 more. And like a number like 20 is such a beautiful number for like 15, 16 games that they'll take it like every time. After that, I was pretty much ready to go. I needed to get back in town. There was like another sale that actually said they had video game stuff. So, but I took a look around and I found some pretty interesting stuff. Not really game related, but I'll just shoot them out really fast. See if you guys appreciate it, which I'm sure you will. It's the Rocketeer. Later on I actually noticed that I didn't get his rocket pack, but who knows where that was. Maybe I'll make it out of tinfoil. But yeah, this guy's pretty cool. Got him. And same bin, I found Alf and a Tasmanian Devil and some sort of like Flash outfit. I had like a bunch of plush toys, and I figure, you look through the toys, sometimes you find stuff in there, not only toys and like little figurines that you might like, but you find, sometimes games. Like I found Pokemon Red and Blue in a box of Legos once, so check in there, because you never know, you might find some of these older games in there. But yeah, and right near there was like a box of like plush toys, and so I looked through there and I wasn't finding anything, but call me a geek or nerd or whatever, but I found Bubbles. And I loved the Powerpuff Girls when they were on. Them and Dexter's Lab. They were pretty much like on at around the same time in the late 90s. And saw her, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get her, definitely. But then I saw Blossom. Sorry for all the people who don't know who these characters are, but you should watch the show. It's a really good show. And I was like, okay, they got 2 of them. They have to have the 3rd one. They have to have Buttercup. So, looking around, and I had them in my hands, and some other lady at the yard sale was like, I just saw it. I just saw that one. And it was in a box full of clothes, and spending a while looking around for it, bam, found the 3rd one. So now I have a full set of Powerpuff Girls, which some people may not care about, but whatever. Pikachu plush. Not one of those knockoffs, but Pikachu plastic figure guy. But I don't know why I picked this guy up. I mean, I found that guy, but I'd have him, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy. So I found like a paperback of Where the Wild Things Are, deck book. Never even heard of this one. It says Wilhelm Grimm. Maybe it's a descendant of the Grimm Brothers or whatever, but it has some pretty nice art in there. So I have to give this one a better look. But anyways, for all that, this was after I bought the video games. I just shot an offer of $5 and then the lady took it. So I felt like I could have, she just made her an offer of $3 or something. She probably just wanted to get rid of all these toys. So anyways, now I'm going to pick up on the next place I stopped at, which I had a bike, like I said, a town over, and I actually stopped at an estate sale. Some person was moving away out of the country actually, and you know, I asked about games and they said come back later or I'll call you later because I have some Nintendo games. So I was like, okay, gave her my number, did not expect to get a call back, but anyways, I think I'm reaching the end of my time here, so I'm going to stop and upload it for the next video, so stay tuned for part 3. Start the timer. I think we got this down to a science. By the way, did you know that 75% of all Americans are chronically dehydrated? Whew. So anyways, getting back to what I've got. So, found some more stuff in my own backyard, basically. My own hometown. So, actually not my hometown, but whatever. I had this guy's sale before. He actually posted several up before, and he sells storage lots that he buys. And I've been there before, and he said, like, you know, when he had video game stuff, you know, he said he saves all the games and sells them online. He knew the value of them, so but I figured since he was moving, maybe he actually put out some stuff. For the price, I paid $1. I think you would agree that it was pretty good stop to make. Purple controller for the N64. AC power adapter for the original Nintendo, which actually goes very well with my $8 Nintendo I picked up 3 weeks ago at a place that a guy was selling his, you know, his storage lot, and he was selling all the junk in it. And this was on, you know, on a Saturday. He advertised it actually in the garage sale section. Picked up $8 Nintendo and some games, and the AC adapter was all jacked up, so picked that up there. And a regular Nintendo controller that still has its bag on it, and like all the twist ties and everything. And yeah, I figured I'd pick this up. Pretty clean condition. I mean, I'm going to clean all this stuff. Hasn't been cleaned yet, but so those 3 things, N64, Nintendo controller, and the Nintendo power adapter, were only $1, and I wasn't even going to argue with it. I just wanted to get on, because basically when I was there, I saw this lady who I've seen before at garage sales, and she just like walks up to games, walks up to systems, and just purchases everything. So I didn't know what ground she covered yet, so I knew I had to get on, because there was another sale that said they had some game stuff, and pretty much I knew I had to get there before she did. So the next sale I went to was that other one that I just mentioned. So it had some game stuff. Her son had just threw stuff in a bag and said sell it. So it had all the cables, but the only thing that I found that was really, or the only controller that I found really interesting was this one here. It has like a turbo on it, on pretty much every single button, and you can set it. So it's pretty handy, you know, if you you know, just want the Y to be turbo or something like that. But yeah, I mean, the other controller, like I said, is pretty jacked up. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with it. I wasn't gonna leave a Super Nintendo there, so, and pretty much I didn't want to pick and choose Boy 2. I think I have this for the regular Nintendo, but and I actually really liked the original. Back in the day, we used to play it on our old IBM, and that thing, all the sound was from the computer speaker. Yeah, but anyways, Rock and Roll Racing. Never played this on the Super Nintendo. And my first sports game that's I'm just gonna have to get rid of somehow, but NBA Live '95. What was the last one? Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat 2. And PlayStation 2 memory card for some reason. Pretty much the rest of the yard sales that was going around in my town had nothing, except for like the last one I stopped. She had some games set up, like an Xbox 360 games, like BioShock 2 and Dead Space and maybe Gears of War. I can't remember. But yeah, she had a bag that had a bunch of cables in it, and I started looking through it because I was looking for an AC adapter for some other thing I bought at a Goodwill, and pulled out first a DS adapter, and then I pulled out a Game Boy Advance adapter, some USB cable thingy. But yeah, I asked her how much she wanted. She said $1, and I was like, okay, I'm fine with that, and I moved on. After that, I had to head back to the other town because I want to check out the thrift stores in there, and yeah, they didn't really have anything except Atari 2600, guys. I already have 2 of these guys. But this was like, I think, one of the heavy Sixers, 6-switch, metal, not plastic, and yeah, it feels a lot heavier than my other wood grain model, and I think it's a heavy Sixer, but I'll have to check it out. Anyways, it was half off that day, right? So the price here is $10, so half that, $5. I had a credit at the store for $2. So literally, I got this Atari for $3. How could I leave it there? I don't think anybody would leave it there for $10. But anyways, $2 Atari, or $3 Atari, which actually beats the Atari Junior price. I got an Atari Junior last year for $3.25 at a garage sale. This beats it. Alright. Shit. Finally, and went home, finally thought I was going to get some rest, and was sitting down, pretty happy. Anyways, I'm resting, and it's like 6 o'clock at night, knock on my door, and postman arrives, and I was like, what? And I had a package. I actually ordered this in the week, and you know, for $10, I thought it was a pretty good deal. So I don't know how much you guys know about it or even appreciate the old school shmups, but this one was pretty solid. It's called In the Hunt, and I believe it's made by the same guys, the same team of guys who went on to work on the Metal Slug games, and yeah, but this one, instead of a run and gun, it's you pilot a submarine, and it has some pretty awesome sprite-based animation in it, and lots of cool explosions, and pretty awesome. I don't think there are any mentions of Nazis or Hitler in this one though. So, but yeah, In the Hunt, very good game, especially if you like shmups and Metal Slug. I actually don't like Metal Slug. Boo boo, whatever, who cares? But I really don't like running guns. I like the freedom you get of piloting like a spaceship, or in this case you move underwater, so I guess I have to get used to them, but I've never been a big fan of Metal Slug or Contra. $10. Pretty good condition actually. Had the manual. The bottom of the disc is pretty awesome. This flap on the edge of the long box here is unglued, but that can definitely be glued back on. I think you can get that pretty tight. But yeah. So it was Sunday, and I did look on Craigslist the night before. I didn't see anything, and then Saturday or Sunday morning I look, and people said they had yard sales. One said they had video games, so I was like, okay. Pro tip: go look at yard sales on Sundays, because not a lot of people go around to the yard sales on Sundays. So if someone says they're selling video games and their yard sale is only on Sunday, you're gonna get the games. I don't think there are a lot of people that go around the yard sales on Sundays. It just seems like a bad idea to have a yard sale on a Sunday. Every time I go to a yard sale on Sunday, it just seems like people are sitting out in the sun frying because and with nobody visiting them, and they kind of latch onto you and want to talk to you as long as they can because they haven't seen a soul in, like, you know, days. But anyways, I went around to 2 yard sales, and one was like 6 miles away. Had a bike over there, and for the video games, obviously. And I asked if they had any games, and asked if they had any old games, and the lady was like, "Oh, I just threw away like 100 Sega Genesis games." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I didn't say it out loud, but seriously, you threw them away? You didn't even like give them to Goodwill or like some thrift store? I mean, it just shows like some people really don't value them, and for this person to look at them as being junk, who knows what the price I could have gotten on all those games. I could have probably said $10 sold. But yeah, really bittersweet, because I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago I saw the same address being advertised and saying they had video games, and yeah, that was she said that she had thrown out the games like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I'm thinking maybe she had them out, and then nobody bought them, which is crazy, because there are at least 2 sharks in my town that pretty much buy all the video games. So anyways, Sunday I go back home after that, and I'm resting, like really just exhausted. You know, I had biked a ton, and then I got a call from the place I went to on Saturday, said to come back. So this is another 10 miles. I had a bike out, and then when I get there, she had them all set out and had all these sticker prices on them. And another pro tip: ignore sticker prices. Just ask. Like if something says it's $1, $3, $1.50, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just say, how much do you want? And either way, she said this was her first time having a sale. She was moving away out of the country, so yeah, I was just like, how much she wanted, and she's like, well, let's, you know, add them up and then go from there. And I was like, shit. So I wasn't expecting to get a really good price, but you know, we added them all up and there was like $40 or something like that. I ended up getting her down to $30 for them. And then so anyways, here's that they are. Nothing super spectacular. Spike V-Ball, Kung Fu, Double Dribble, Spy Hunter, Bad Dudes, Simpsons, Bart vs. the World, Excite Bike, a game that I never thought I would truly like, but that one's actually really fun. Rampage, Zelda 2, Legend of Kage. That's right, Kage, not Cage. Kiwi Craze, or Kiwi Crazy. It's a Taito game. I never heard of it before, but I like Taito, so this is probably what I'm going to keep. Super Mario 3, Super Mario Duck Hunt, Salamander, Base Wars, Double Dragon 2, Fantastic Dizzy. It's one of those weird cards. And Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And a Gray Zapper. So yeah, I mean $30 for that. It's not a bad deal, but at the same time, it's, you know, it's to me not a yard sale price. But anyways, I'm talking to her, and we go into the next room, and I find that she has like board games, and I see something I want. Now, this is gonna show how much of a nerd I am, but let me just move all this crap so you can actually see it. But let's see. So, Nerds Ahoy. That's right, Hero's Quest. Now this is actually not like Dungeons and Dragons. It's a little bit easier to get into. And my brother had this game when we were younger, and we played it a lot. My sister is actually the dungeon master person. So that's not a cheap game. I got this for $3, okay? After spending all that time arguing over $30, she was gonna sell it. She said, "Oh well, if you don't really want it, she was gonna sell them." So I bought that up for $30. But she's like, "I'll give you this for $3." And I was like, "Hell's yeah!" This thing is like $50, $75. And it had all the pieces, super good condition. Yeah, I mean, really, really good condition here. $3. So, Nerds Ahoy. That's my pickups. And when I leave a place, I clean up. There's nothing good left.